Alright, and welcome back to episode 5 of the Alec Frengos show. This is a sports podcast centered around NBA and NFL, and today I'm joined with Joey Price to my right and Adam Eicholz to my left. Today we'll be going over the NBA Finals, recapping that, favorite moment from the 2022-2023 NBA season, NBA mock draft, going through the top 14 picks and who will land where, early 2024 NBA Finals prediction, and would you rather. So we're going to start by going over the NBA Finals that just recently finished. The Denver Nuggets are on top of the NBA world, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on the NBA season coming to an end. I'm going to start with you, Joey.
So obviously it was a great season. I mean, not the most entertaining finals we've had in years past, but talking about the finals, I mean, it's honestly just the Heat kind of just ran out of steam in the finals. Their role players, they weren't ready for the moment. It kind of showed. And then talking about Jimmy Butler, I know Alec made a video on this, like sitting in the corner with 3 minutes left, like it's just not, you can't be doing that as a star player in this league. But I do want to give a big shout out to Bam, just because he held his own to the Joker.
He played his ass off.
Yeah, and honestly, the Nuggets, they deserved it. They played great all year, and yeah.
Go ahead.
I agree with everything there, but only thing I would say with Miami, just offensively, I think they're just one star offensive player away from being back in the finals.
Damian Lillard
and possibly winning. I would say probably Dame. Bradley Beal's on the market now.
Yep. More to come, obviously.
Yeah, I think Game 1, Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5, they weren't even over 100 points. Just not good offensively. But then in Denver, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I would put Denver up there as not the greatest reign of all time, but maybe like top team to win the finals. Just because how good they were and the system that they played in, they were just unstoppable. And when you got a guy like Jokic and Murray doing their thing, and then you got like casuals like Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown, who you're not really expecting to step up, that team was just really good and fun to watch.
Well, greatest ring of all time, I wouldn't say it's up there. I think the path was obviously it's every year's difficult path, but I think the performance was all time.
Like
not
that,
the way
like
they
team,
won the ring, but they played perfect all the way through.
Yeah.
They dropped a couple games, obviously. That's what you do. How many games did they lose? They swept
4.
the Lakers.
They went 16-4.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. They, even though like the Timberwolves the first round, okay, it's not really a good team, but the Lakers they swept that's pretty impressive, honestly. Mm-hmm. Phoenix they handled 6 easily, honestly. Yeah. But Phoenix was really dysfunctional, having a lot of injuries. But I think that the Nuggets played perfect. They earned this ring, and it's good on them. But going into the Heat a little bit, it's just hard when your guy that has the key to the franchise just wants to sit corner and kind of slack off until the last 5 minutes, and then you try to go crazy when you're down 10. It's just wrong. You need guys. You can't have Robinson taking these shots down the line, Strus, Vincent. You can't rely on those guys in the NBA Finals. This isn't no normal regular season game. This is the NBA Finals, and Jimmy Butler, if you want to say his ankle from the previous series against the Knicks, Celtics, etc. Voice crack, damn. But I just feel like it's unacceptable on Jimmy Butler's part, and no superstar in the NBA should act like that. You don't do that. You don't sit corner. I have never seen someone like LeBron, Curry, Tatum in the NBA Finals shy away from the moment. You have to be there, and you have to want it. I get some things happen, but I'm not going to let that slide for Jimmy Butler. I think that's a huge part why they lost. And also the role players, right? Christian Braun came out of nowhere and provided some big points. Bruce Brown played like an all-star. Caldwell Pope, some timely threes. And the Heat players, Robinson, besides the one game, nowhere to be found at all. Tyler Hero didn't even want to show up. Strus, worst performance in finals history probably. Gabe Vincent was averaging 15 in every playoff series, then he just went away. So it's kind of collapse on the Heat on the Heat's end, sorry, and the only person that showed fight was Bam Adebayo, and you could say Kyle Lowry. He did his point. He did his part. Anything else you guys want to add?
I was just going back to what I said about the Heat just needing another offensive player. I was going to say, Tyler Hero, he sat out the entire playoffs, and look what they did without him. I feel like now they would probably trade him if they don't really need him. If they want like that player
So
like
if they want
Dame,
that superstar, you think Hero's the one to go?
I think Tyler Hero is
Okay.
like the centerpiece.
I actually don't mind that. I think that they would be if they want to win now, because Jimmy Butler's clock is obviously ticking for when he gets up there in age. But yeah, you'd have to move someone like him to get a superstar like Lillard, or I don't know, Beal would probably be cheaper, and he's got a crazy contract. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, with the season wrapping up, I want to hear your guys' favorite moment from the season, and who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Sure,
Okay.
ahead.
So this is just a fun moment that I honestly kind of just forgot about. So Mac McClung winning the 2023 NBA dunk contest. I just think this is a big moment just because he's a G Leaguer, and he put on a performance because he wants an NBA contract and he wants a job in the NBA.
Semi-revived the dunk contest a little bit.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
that.
hope this kind of, what you said, revives it for the future years, kind of gets the star players to go in it and make it more fun, because the last couple years since
Dead.
the Levine Gordon.
Yeah, but I feel like a couple more after have been all right. It's just that the bar was set so high from that dunk contest, right? So everyone's expecting crazy stuff that only a couple people in this world can pull off. But Mac McClung, he did bring a good show, and I feel like they just got to stop having like G Leaguers and bench players on it. You got to get your superstars in this. I think it's a must. It's so good for the fans. It's good for people that are paying a big price to watch the most entertaining event that you go for, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be changed, and hopefully that is next year or coming years. Go ahead. Do you have another one?
No.
Go ahead.
So when I think to this past season, I think of Braun's shot to make history.
Yeah.
I don't like LeBron. I never have, and I never will. But that shot was it was history to be that highest scorer in NBA history.
Yeah.
And to see that live, like, we're not going to see that again for how long?
Never.
Probably never.
Never.
So to watch that live, just a very cool moment, and yeah.
So we good? I've got two. So obviously the Game 7 Steph Curry performance against the Sacramento Kings. Absolutely.
Your favorite moment of the season?
Hold on, I've got another one, but I just need to get this one in. Stephen Curry back against the wall, Game 7, nobody else shows up. 50 points, double teams, getting blitzed off the screen, everything. It's one of the greatest performances in NBA playoffs history, and that's why I had to throw it in there. He shut up the Sacramento Kings fans. There's no beam. There will never be a beam. That team will never see a championship. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I couldn't stand that series because how those players and fans acted. And my main favorite moment is I'm gonna go Kevin Durant breaking Daniel Gafford in half.
Oh, yeah.
I was upstairs watching that. Just a casual Friday night I was watching with my cousin Anthony, and we flipped to the Wizards-Nets game because of fantasy basketball implications. So we see Kevin Durant coming up the court, and he drives to the key, and he pulls back, and Daniel Gafford does the splits. It's just, that stuck with me the whole season because it's a very funny moment, and I'll never forget it because seeing that in real time is something that you just go crazy over because you don't see it often, and that big of an ankle breaker is something funny for sure. Are there any other ones?
Well, I guess another one, Game 6, Eastern Conference Finals, Derek White's buzzer beater.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I
too.
mean,
Insane.
making that shot, giving them a chance to go back home, Game 7, to make history, obviously completing the reverse sweep, but they couldn't get that done. But if they did win that Game 7, that shot would be
Iconic.
even more legendary. Yeah, iconic.
Yeah, it would. Anything?
I mean, I know we talk about the Heat a lot on this podcast, but I would say the Miami Heat run, just because they lost the first game in the play-in tournament, and then they won against the
Sorry,
Bulls.
no. They
lost to the Hawks.
They lost to the Hawks, right? Yeah.
And then they were
Trae
down to the Bulls with like 3 minutes left, and their season was that close to finishing.
Yeah.
And then they upset the number 1 Bucks team.
With injury to Giannis.
Okay. Anyways, and then the Knicks and Celtics. That was just a great playoff run by an 8 seed team. And
Jimmy Butler, yeah. So a lot of people saying that like Jimmy Butler hate isn't deserved, and I get a part of that due to the greatness he had in the first 3 series and even a couple games in the NBA Finals, right? He was
special.
It was very special to see, and that shouldn't be taken away from him due to the last couple finals games. But yeah, I think those are some pretty good moments to go over and remember for the years. And the next topic we're going to go over is the NBA draft, is coming up in a couple days, and we're going to go through the top 14 picks and why we think these players should land at these specific destinations. And we're going to go around the table, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And I'm going to start first, and this is probably the most obvious pick in NBA history, and Victor Wembanyama to the San Antonio Spurs. I think that Victor Wembanyama is kind of getting overlooked in a way. I think that he's more... Sorry, get this marker. Damn. He's more of a project than people expect him to be. People expecting him to come into the league and average this 30 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists. That's not going to happen for these people that are expecting greatness. Although he is on a Spurs team with not a lot of talent, he's going to be used a lot. I think that under Greg Popovich and that great coaching staff, you're going to have to give him a couple years, and then you'll really start to see his greatness. I don't think he will come into this league and be an all-star right away, carry the Spurs to the play-in, get in.
But you think he's going to eventually be scoring like 30 a game?
Yes. Okay. I think that Victor Wembanyama,
not his first year.
He's such a raw prospect right now. Like he's playing overseas right now and stuff, and people they want to pick out the clips of him getting bullied by the big guys in the paint, right? But then they say wait until he comes into the league and faces Giannis and Embiid. That takes time, right? Giannis came into the league as a skinny guy like him, and look at him now. He's the most dominant player in the league. So it's going to have to take time for Wembanyama to be as great as people see him as, and I think he'll get there. It's just that it won't happen in the first 2 years. Give him time, get him some role players, good coaching under him, and it will come eventually. So we're going to go to the number 2 pick to the Charlotte Hornets.
Yep. So I've been seeing a lot of things. People have been saying that it's either Scoot or Brandon Miller. And I've been seeing people saying that Miller should be going too, just because
Hornets don't need
a point guard.
That's fair.
Which I disagree with, because the last time we saw a situation like this was Wiseman on the Warriors. And
where you go your needs and it backfires.
Yeah. And I just think Scoot is just going to be a great player. I think he's being overlooked in this draft.
Personally, right now, I think he is the most complete player in the draft. I think that at the moment he's better. He's more complete than Wembanyama. I think he honestly is. Yeah. But Wembanyama, I think, will be way better in the future. But Scoot right now, I see why there's a lot of trade talks, and this could be a draft full of trades and three-way trades, everything, because a lot of people are going to go up to get this guy because he is really a generational talent. Keep going.
Say the only thing you could really talk about is maybe his height. He's not as tall, but he's really athletic. So
He's a point guard.
So he could get up there. But yeah, I got the Hornets taking Scoot.
What do you think about that pick?
Oh, I disagree with what the Hornets, the reports that are coming out. I mean, Scoot, we all know he's going to be the better player.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller, in the March Madness tournament, he honestly shied away. In the 3 games I think Alabama had, he didn't play good at all. He's also one of the older prospects in this draft, which, I mean, in the NBA, you kind of look for younger talent,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But he has a freakish build, 6'9". I mean, he's athletic.
KD-esque, but will
Yeah,
he be
but-
like that? I don't think so.
And he does have some off the court issues.
They're resolved now.
Yeah,
but
but-
that trust, obviously, you're going to look at that for organizations. So with that, I want to hear your guys. Who would you compare Scoot Henderson to? I'll go first. Mike Scoot Henderson comparison, there's kind of two. I'd go Jamal Morant or I'd go Donovan Mitchell, kind of in the middle of that. Freakishly athletic guy, can shoot the ball, elite finishing, has pretty above average defense. I'd kind of lean more towards Donovan Mitchell, but kind of an upper echelon of that player build.
I agree with Donovan Mitchell.
What do you
I'd probably
think?
go with like a Westbrook.
Westbrook, okay. I like that. Okay, so number 3 pick, Portland Trailblazers. Who are you selecting, Joey?
Well, with Brand Miller off the board, it has to be
No.
Scoot Henderson.
Did you take?
I took Scoot.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's Blazers. Yeah, they'd take Brandon Miller, I think.
Yeah, you think they go
Pair him
Brandon
with
Miller?
Dame.
Or could you see?
Then trading out?
Yeah, and then getting another superstar. Is it more likely you think? Who's more likely to get traded? Number 3 pick here or Dame? I think Dame is more likely to get traded than this pick. I think it's time for Portland to reset.
I want to see Dame get traded, but I think more likely probably the 3rd pick.
Yeah,
You
I
think
agree
so?
with that.
Yeah.
Why so?
Well, I mean, Dame showed his loyalty. I don't think he'll switch up now. I mean, I think Portland will do everything they can
To build something
to
around
build
him?
stuff around him. With this 3rd pick, it's a premium pick. They could
Very
get
premium.
many picks for it and a good player.
Okay. So number 4, who has this pick? We're gonna go
The Rockets.
Houston.
the Houston Rockets. I think this team is loaded with young talent and scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Şengün, just to name a couple. And I think that Ime Udoka is just going to want another raw athletic prospect to add to this up-and-coming team. And I'm going to go Asor Thompson. I think that he is the definition of complete. He can do everything. He's athletic. He can play both sides of the ball, and he really shines on defense when I watch this film. He can lock it down. He can score. Elite wing defender. He can even get on the inside and get you maybe a couple blocks, and I think it's a perfect fit for the Rockets, pairing with Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Kenyon Martin, Alperen Şengün, etc. I think it's good fit for Ime Udoka and the Rockets. So number 5.
Number 5 is who again?
Pistons.
The 5th pick, I have to go with probably Jarris Walker.
Okay.
He's a power forward.
Out of?
Houston.
I would probably say, I guess it doesn't really matter who it is, but I would probably just say a forward for that team because they already got Cade, so you don't really need a guard.
Yeah.
But Jarris Walker, he's 6'6", and he can shoot, so I think he would pair well there.
Okay.
So Orlando Magic at 6.
Yep.
I think they'd go the other twin, Amon Thompson.
Okay. Do you see them as kind of similar, or do you think one's better than the
they've
other?
They've trained together their whole life. I'm pretty sure they'd be pretty similar.
Because a lot of scouts and front office people have Asur. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but they have him slightly above. But I don't know. I feel like they're very similar. What do you think?
So I've heard they're very good at everything. They just have a little bit of an inconsistent jump shot.
Shooting,
Yeah.
That's it. But they're great on defense. They're feisty. They're 6'6". That's a great build for the NBA now. In this new generation, they can drive. Yeah, they can really do everything.
All right. What are we on now?
Pacers.
1, 2, 3.
Pacers at 7.
Okay, so with the Pacers, this is a team I'm very high on. What do they need? They've got Ben Mathurin, their centerpiece at small forward. They've got Tyrese Halliburton, their franchise guard, and they've got Miles Turner, who's going to hold it down in the paint. What do I see that this team needs? I think they need a floor spacer. They need someone to get out and shoot. And I'm going to go I'm going to go another guard. I'm going to go Anthony Black out of Arkansas. I think that he's almost kind of similar to Tyrese Halliburton. He's a primarily playmaking point guard. He can obviously shoot, and I feel like he performed pretty well in the March Madness tournament, showing pretty NBA-ready flashes to me. So I think that they need someone else in the backcourt. Obviously, having Buddy Hield, you see him, and then you can kind of get this guy mentored behind Tyrese Halliburton. You've got a pretty good starting five there in Indiana, and I think adding another NBA-ready, potentially solid starter would help this team get to the next level eventually. They're going to need a couple veteran pieces around them, but that's who I'm going to go with at number 7. So number 8, you're on the clock.
It is Washington. I was actually going to take Anthony Black, but now that I can't, probably Jordan Hawkins. He's a guard and
flamethrower.
Really good shooter.
So good.
And like I said before, Washington just kind of needs a guard. Especially
they need everything.
They need everything, but if Beal goes, they just need another guard to pair up with probably Kuzma and Porzingis. And Jordan Hawkins is a flamethrower, like you said, and a really good player. And he would probably
such a good jump shot in that tournament.
And he'd probably be a leader of that team.
Yeah, for the future, he definitely would be.
Utah Jazz at 9.
Yeah.
This guy's actually fallen a bit here. Cam Whitmore out of Villanova.
Okay.
Young player. He's only 19 years old. He's really athletic, like a lot of other players in this draft. He's a unicorn. He can do a lot of stuff on the court. The Utah Jazz, they honestly don't have much talent on the roster at all. So I think they just need pieces to build to get them back into playoff contention.
All right, and moving on from the 9th pick, number 10, the Dallas Mavericks. This is very, very interesting because Luka Doncic I feel like he's getting frustrated with this. He just has nothing around him. They got Kyrie, absolute failure.
Yeah, but then and after that, it's just no one. Like, literally no one's on that team.
Nobody's on that team. So what I'm looking for, seems like they're going to move Christian Wood is what I'm hearing. So I'm looking for a guy that Doncic can go in the pick and roll with, get a couple more assists, that can get rebounds and get out. I'm going to go Derek Lively II out of Duke. Athletic guy. He could probably catch lobs from the dunk spot. He's 19 years old. He can develop with Luka. And this pick could be in some trade scenarios, but I feel like the Dallas Mavericks going a center here is ideal. I think they need a guy that's opposite of Luka. They don't need another shot creator and usage guy, so I'm going to go Derek Lively out of Duke here. Go ahead.
I'm next, and Orlando's next, right?
Yep.
All right, so if I was Orlando, I'm going with Grady Dick, if he's available.
Interesting. Why?
Just kind of, they have Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. I wouldn't really need a guard. I just feel like Grady Dick's he has everything. He can shoot, he can play defense, he's very athletic.
Very.
And his playmaking skills are really good. And I just feel like he knows what it takes to win. And I feel like Orlando's just kind of getting better every year, like very slowly. And I feel like Grady Dick, just the fact that he knows how to do everything, he would be a great part of that team.
They've got Paulo, Grady Dick. Yeah, if they could develop him, I think that's looking pretty good for the Magic in the next couple of years. Let's see how the coaching turns out. Who is their coach?
The Magic?
Yeah.
I think they just got a new one, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Can you check that? Magic coach? I don't know who that is, but we're at pick 12 now, and who does this belong to?
That's OKC.
Jamal Mosley.
Who? Anyways.
OKC at 12. So you guys had my 2 picks that I was going to take.
Okay.
Right before this, Lively and Grady Dick.
Who we're going to pair Chet and Shea up with.
So I was looking for like a bigger center with potential, just, eat up the paint.
They need someone like that.
But since you guys took those players, I'm just going to do what the OKC does. They just shoot for the fences. I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama's teammate Bilal Coulibaly
Wow.
out of Metropolitans,
Okay.
92.
18 years old.
He's probably the highest potential in this draft. I've seen him in the top 10, some big boards. I mean, he's kind of like a OG apparently.
Interesting. This
He's
is a
quick.
very interesting
He can
pick.
really good on defense, good in transition. I just think they need a player like him.
That's interesting. Okay, and so
And the Raps.
is this
Pick
pick
13, the Raps.
Toronto Raptors?
Here we go.
What does this team need? They need a pure point guard, and looking at the board,
Case on Walls.
I feel like there is someone. If this draft falls the right way, I'm looking at two guys. I'm looking at Nick Smith Jr. out of Arkansas, and I'm looking at Carson Wallace out of Kentucky. The Raptors just need that lead, that pure point guard, and I'm gonna go Carson Wallace out of Kentucky. I feel like he's kind of looked at as a wild card. I feel like he could be higher picked, he could be lower picked. It just depends. I feel like the Raptors, they just need this guy with a new coach coming in, maybe a couple pieces to be soon moved. I feel like they need a guy that's going to learn and develop with Scotty, Koloko, OG, etc., to just learn the offense, learn the system, and know these guys better. So when it's time to contend, we get this offense finally under control, because for the last couple of years, it's just looked like an absolute mess. So that's what I'd want to see the Raptors go. Either one of those two, but preferably Wallace out of Kentucky.
Yep.
So the last pick, number 14.
Who is that? Sorry, I don't have that written down.
Oh, Pelicans?
Here we go. Pelicans.
If I was the Pelicans, probably just say they would need like a point guard. And who was the other guy you said?
Nick Smith?
Probably go Nick Smith. They have CJ, but they don't really have like a go-to point guard, like a leader. And I would probably just go him, so he can run the offense.
Yeah, I feel like losing Lonzo was actually very important to that team, and I feel like they tried to draft his replacement either last year or the year before, Dyson Daniels, out of Australia. I don't know if he'll become the type of guy they're looking for, but yeah, I see the Pelicans is looking for a primary ball handler. Ingram brought up the ball a lot actually in these last couple of years, so yeah, I think that's pretty good destination.
Yeah, because they just have so much offensive firepower. You just kind of need a guy to hold on to the ball and get those shots open for them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be our top 14 mock draft, and it will be posted up a graphic on Instagram later on. And so we're gonna get into our last couple topics here. We're gonna go early 2024 NBA Finals prediction. I'm gonna start with you.
All right, so out of the East, I think a lot of people have this. It's the Bucks. They're just gonna come out hot the whole year, because I bet they're really mad with they're really mad with what happened in the playoffs this year. And Giannis, I think he'll prove that he is a top player in this league and maybe the best in the league.
Oh, sorry.
West.
Yeah.
Well, the West is.
It's tough.
I don't know if the Nuggets are going to repeat. I just feel like Jokic is just going to get fat over the summer and just... But I don't really see any team going to the finals. I mean, maybe the Suns. But, I mean, I just guess I'll go with the Nuggets.
So, for the East, I got the Bucks as well. I'm seeing Giannis. Looks like he's been working a lot on his IG. So that's going to be scary next year.
Everyone does that.
No, but like he said that he's coming, so you got to watch out.
Pause, yeah.
For the West, I feel
you
like
got the Bucks?
I got the Bucks. And for the West, Denver, I would say Denver, but I'm just not sure with them. It's just so hard to tell now because the offseason hasn't really started yet.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like Denver's going to make any really big moves. And I feel like teams will kind of pick up on how they played this past playoffs, so they might not be as good next year. So I either got the Warriors or Lakers in the finals.
Wow, okay.
I feel like both teams, this past playoffs were just a couple pieces away from being there. And obviously with the Lakers and LeBron, he's just going to probably trade for a bunch of guys. He's going to get whoever he wants. I think Kyrie might go there. And yeah, so I would just say either the Bucks and the Warriors or Lakers.
All right, so I'm gonna go kind of a little bit away from you guys. I'm gonna go in the East. I'm gonna go the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. I'm gonna have them coming out of the East. I think it's time that we get away from Celtics, Heat, Bucks. I think it's time for a new type of team to break out, and I feel like Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Okoro, all those guys can get it done.
So you think the same Cavs team as last year is going to the finals?
Yeah, they just need a couple more pieces around them. I feel like Mitchell could lead the way. Garland helping. Mobley has proven he can be elite on the defensive end. I think Jared Allen also on that team. I feel like they're a couple of veteran pieces away from making a pretty big run. And on the West, I don't know. I'm torn between two teams, the Warriors and the Suns, but I'm going to be completely unbiased. I'm going to go the Phoenix Suns. I feel like new coach Frank Vogel, Matt Ishbia, a new owner. They clearly got rid of Chris Paul and maybe DeAndre, and they're looking to get defense around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. If you can surround them with the right pieces, this team will make it to the NBA Finals. They've got two generational scorers, and I feel like if you can keep them healthy at the right time and have your role players step up when it matters, I think Phoenix Suns versus Cleveland Cavaliers is what I would say is my early 2024 NBA Finals prediction. What do you think?
I think that Cavs take is very wild.
Really?
I just feel like if they had a better run this year, I could see that. But they lost, was it swept or 5 against the Knicks?
5.
5 against the Knicks. I think if they got like another really good player, like an OG to put there.
All teams must go through failure to reach the top, though.
Against the Knicks in the first round?
I think so.
I think Mitchell could lead them, but what I saw with Garland last year in the playoffs, he was not good.
No, he was a ghost, but
if he turns it around,
getting
maybe.
some experience, getting a couple guys, I think they can make a pretty good run at it. But going into the final topic, we're gonna go would you rather. We're gonna keep it recent. Jamal Murray. First name Darius
Recent.
Garland.
Jamal Murray.
I'm also gonna go Jamal Murray. Next name Jalen Brunson.
Ooh, that's kind of tough.
That's tough. That is tough.
I'll go first.
I'm saying Brunson.
I'm going Jalen Brunson.
I'll agree with you guys. I'll go Brunson.
Yeah.
Okay. Next name LaMelo Ball.
If I'm starting a franchise, I'm taking Murray.
I'm taking Murray.
I'm taking LaMelo Ball.
I know he is an all-star, but he also just missed the whole season last year because he sprained his ankle twice. If I'm starting a franchise,
LaMelo Ball has shown that he can be actually injury prone.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like, but I just think LaMelo Ball is the way better.
He's better.
I don't want to say like clearing, but he is comfortably. I'm taking him as the better player, generational playmaker from what we've seen. He can shoot the three. He can rebound at a pretty good level. He can do everything, and I think that he's never been given a chance to make a championship run. I think eventually he will, but you gotta wait for him. But I'm gonna currently take LaMelo Ball. Next name Trae Young.
Oh, Trae. I'm taking Trae. As much as I don't like him, he's way better.
I'm going Jamal Murray.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go Trae Young, but let me know on this take what goes behind it.
Who, me?
Yeah.
You said Jamal Murray.
Taking Murray over Trae.
Oh, well, I mean, Jamal Murray, he can guard a lot of positions.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm building a team, I want defense on my team. I just don't want a guy that gets all his points from free throws, takes logo threes. Like, I don't like that. I mean, Jamal Murray, I like him better.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I just think that although Trae Young lacks a little bit of defense, I think that he's the better playmaker. I think he is the better scorer. I think he shoot the three. He's an underrated finisher, and I think that Trae Young, he gave the Celtics a couple games of hell this year, and I think that I don't know. Does he have all the pieces to really make a deep run?
Not even close.
No.
Because the way I look at it, if he had Jokic, he would probably be in the finals.
As well?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Anyone can make it with Jokic. He's the best
That's
player.
fair. So do you... one thing is Trae Young's a number one, though, and he's made the conference finals. Do you think Murray can make be a number one on his own and make the conference finals?
Like, he was a number one, but he also had other pieces. Like,
that's
good,
fair.
Like,
okay.
players, like, just under him.
So, like, Jamal Murray on the Hawks without DeJounte Murray made the conference finals. He knocked off the 76ers. It was really him, Capella, and John Collins. That's it. Bogdanovich, maybe. Right?
Yeah, and then they took the Bucks to Game 6, which is pretty good.
In my eyes, I don't see Jamal Murray better than Trae Young. But last name, Chris Paul. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I think Chris Paul is better, but I think starting a franchise, I'm taking Murray.
Who's better currently?
See, I feel like Chris Paul just gets hate. He's obviously, his playmaking skills are way better. I'll probably take Murray right now.
Murray.
I'm going Jamal Murray also. Currently, I'm taking Jamal Murray. Chris Paul was a number 2 on the Phoenix Suns in the finals, and he didn't win. The Nuggets won, and Murray played very good this year, very, very good. And Chris Paul, though he did have a pretty good run going to the finals with the Suns, yeah, I think Jamal Murray's the way better player. What were you laughing at there?
I think we have to have the same conversation. Like, what if Chris Paul had Jokic? And imagine that pick and roll.
Right now, he wouldn't be in the finals. No.
Really?
Jamal Murray's given this playoffs 6 30-point games.
Yeah.
Chris Paul can't do that. I'm sorry. He could pass to Jokic all he wants, but when Jokic needs a breather, which he's needed a couple of times, Murray stepped up and he scored.
Yeah, that's true. But Chris Paul, if he gets going, he gets going. Like, his game is slept on.
2 years ago, but I don't.
No, he's good. Just no one talks about him because he's 45.
He was hurt in the playoffs this year, but
so
even if he was healthy, I still don't think they'd beat the Nuggets.
Yeah. I'm taking Murray, but I'm not not clear.
I feel like you're trying to be on Chris Paul's good side because you're kind of trying to recruit him to the Raptors.
Oh, I don't want him on the Raptors.
Okay, that's fair, and we're good because. All right, and this is part 2 of the Alec Frengos show. We're going to be getting into NHL, the draft, and recapping the regular season that just ended. And the Vegas Golden Knights are the now reigning Stanley Cup champions, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on the finals and what did you make of it. I'm going to start with you, Joey.
I thought it wasn't the most entertaining finals.
No.
There could have been. I mean, both teams were banged up during the series. Obviously, Florida had a lot of injuries. Ekblad, Montour, and
Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, Vegas, they're the better team. We all know it. They deserved it. They've had this team for a while, this core, and it finally came all together.
Yeah, I'm going to get in here. Obviously, Florida taking down my Bruins, I wasn't too happy about, but there's always a team each year that's going to go on that type of miracle run, right? They're not going to be looked at as a contender at all, but they're just going to do it each and every year. Like you see, a couple years ago, the Bengals do it. The Heat did it. There's just always that one sleeper team that nobody expects that does good and just takes down everyone. But ultimately, the best team in the NHL won, in my opinion. I think Vegas, solid roster. They got good goaltending in the playoffs, and I think that's what ultimately made them the champions of the world. What do you think of it, Bryson?
I think you're right about that. I mean, Vegas was the better team all around. I think Aiden Hill was the big factor in that series, a goaltender for Vegas. He was unbelievable.
Stepped up.
And definitely the Tkachuk injury, playing with a broken sternum, unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how he did that. And all the injuries coming out for Florida. I mean, Vegas was just a healthier team. At the end of the day, they showed it. And I think they're a really well-coached team with Bruce Cassidy. I was even surprised that your Bruins let him go. And
big mistake.
It showed to be a mistake, and he was a big factor, great coach in that series. And ultimately, I think the better team won as well, and Vegas deserved it.
Yeah, one thing before you go, Carter. I think that in the NHL and NBA, a big problem with these sports now is when a team underachieves, you go straight to the coach. I think that's an is absolutely wrong, and I think that it needs to be changed where when a team underperforms, you need to look at your leaders and your best players first for why you're underperforming, not just going right at the coach. If it happens consistently, you start to look at the coach. But that's what I disagree with in a couple professional sports. I think that Bruce Cassidy showed it. He's a top-tier NHL coach, and the Bruins made a big mistake firing him. What do you make of the finals, Carter?
Honestly, I think Vegas obviously dominated, but both teams had really good fourth-line depth.
Yeah.
Both teams, tough teams, hard to play against, but
good goaltending for both teams too.
Good,
you can't discredit
both goalies
Bobrovsky.
really stepped up. But yeah, the bottom end guys really stepped it up, and that's what made the difference, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Bobrovsky, just to give him a round of applause, because he did show that when it matters, he's always there to show up, even in Columbus, and that's why he got that big contract with Florida, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's always there to step up and play in the big games when it matters the most, so big shout out to him, definitely.
Yeah.
And the next topic we're going to go into, we're going to talk about your favorite moment from the season. This can be, give me two, give me one, it doesn't matter. I'll personally start, and every year it's actually a favorite moment. It's just the Toronto Maple Leafs fans getting their hopes up every single year, and it just fails them every year. I don't even care at this point that my favorite team loses. It's just that the Toronto Maple Leafs, every single fan in this country, they get so happy all year. This is our year, and then straight to shit when the playoffs happens. They got that lucky series win of a drained-out Tampa team, right? They won so many years in a row, they're finally going to give up. Toronto got that one, and then look what happened when they faced Florida, a team that's more hungry than them, and Toronto just still doesn't have the toughness, and their top players don't want to show up, so that's always my favorite moment every year. Go ahead, Carter.
I think my favorite moment this year was honestly figuring out that my favorite team, Chicago, got the first pick.
Gotta be.
You know, best prospect since McDavid, so
Yeah,
hopefully he can come in and step up big, because we got some good prospects in.
some work to do with the actual roster.
Nazar and Korchinski are both really good players, so hopefully they step up too, and maybe put Bedard with Eicholz and see how they do.
All right, Bryson, you can go ahead. What's your favorite moment from this season?
You know what? It was near the end of the season, and I'm a huge Detroit Red Wings fan. I'm a diehard Red Wings fan, and I happened to see them play live in Toronto, and I saw Dylan Larkin, who's my favorite player, score a hat-trick live, and it was second hat-trick of his career, and I thought that was really cool, and it was cool to see the Red Wings make a good push near the end of the season. It gave me a lot of joy, but ultimately Steve decided to sell some players at the deadline, and I think it's going to be a good move for the future. And that's my favorite moment, seeing my favorite player score a hat-trick live. It was unbelievable.
And that game, we're going to give a shout-out to Ryan on that
Shout
one,
out
too.
to Ryan, my bro. You know what?
He also gave you a little point too after that second or third goal.
Yeah, Larkin
Gave
pointed
you a
at you,
Larkin
remember?
gave
He did point.
Yeah.
He did. That's true.
So, obviously the Red Wings, you getting in on that, it's got to be your favorite moment. Red Wings hockey till you die, obviously.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Joey, what was your favorite moment this year?
Well, as a Leafs fan,
Nothing. There's nothing then for your favorite moment, right?
well, I mean,
Can't be.
driving home from work and listening to the radio of Tavares scoring that goal, it kind of did give me the chills a little
Oh,
bit.
come on. It's so
It was the
corny.
first time they've done that in 2004. I mean,
Got out of the first round.
it just
you're
felt
stuck
so
in the
good to
floor.
get that off. I don't know.
All
It was a
right.
good moment.
That's
First
fair.
round.
Fair. Leafs fans can have a little bit of joy to
Yeah, we'll let it slide once, you know? Like,
it's
they
fine.
did get that series win, and
almost 20 years Leafs win a series.
I'll give it to him.
That's fair. All right, so we're gonna do the 2024 finals prediction first, and I'm gonna let you lead us off here, Joey. What do you think next year, this time, who will be the Stanley Cup champion, and who will be playing them? No, don't give me a winner. Just give me a matchup. I'm just saying in
All
general.
right, my matchup, I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Starting with the Oilers, I mean, I think McDavid, he's finally going to make it. It's his time. I mean, he's slowly getting older. We don't really
Gotta win
notice it,
eventually
but
if
he
you're
is
that
getting
great.
older.
I agree with you.
yeah.
I mean, they just need to keep adding talent, get that goalie situation figured out. Hopefully Stuart Skinner can be good again. And with the Hurricanes, I mean, I think they have a top 3 coach in the NHL.
Yeah.
I think he'll get it done there, and they have a good, well-built team.
Yeah, I agree.
for the East? Oh, wait, Edmonton
Hurricanes.
versus Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Carter.
Kind of basic pick here, but I think Vegas could go back-to-back.
Okay, against two.
This might be a hot take, but I think Toronto.
Wow.
I'm gonna give them the benefit
Wow.
of the doubt. I think
Wow.
it's getting close to where
Interesting.
if they don't do it, then they're in a lot of trouble. They may lose Matthews.
Well, yeah,
you never know.
We
so.
obviously could see some big roster changes for
This
your
offseason.
Leafs, right? So
Exactly.
who knows? Maybe they make the right moves with the new GM. Have they hired a GM yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad True.
Their new GM, if he comes
Yeah.
in and makes some good moves, who knows what can happen? Go ahead,
For
Bryson.
sure.
What's your early Stanley Cup
You know what?
prediction?
This might be a little off the board, but
Okay.
I'm going to go with the New Jersey Devils, a good
Wow.
young team, and they're up and coming. I really like the team that they got. They got the young talent. They got the good vets.
Yep.
They got some good prospects like Luke Hughes and Simon and Metch will come in next year. And
good
you know
pick.
what? In the West, I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars. I think that team's coming. Jake Ottinger is still a young goaltender. And I mean, I think he's going to be due for a breakout next season. In goaltending, we've seen how much goaltenders have an impact on the Stanley Cup final. And you know what? I think Dallas is well built from top to bottom. They got the vets like Sagan and Ben. They got the young talent. And they're well coached by former Kitchener Ranger coach Peter DeBoer. And
Yep.
I think they got the grit. They got the strong defense core. New Jersey's young. They're hungry. They want to win. And I think those two teams could definitely do it. And I think the winner... I think the Dallas Stars will get a cup. I think they will.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good
Don't
take.
hate it. Don't hate it at all.
For my Stanley Cup Finals prediction, I'm going to do two teams that I think are going to have to finally break through just to get to the cup. I'm going to go the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to agree with you. I think that McDavid, if you're that great, you have to get there at some point in your career. I'm going to go the Edmonton Oilers there. And then the East, we're going to all have different ones. I'm going to go the New York Rangers. I think you got to figure it out there.
Yep.
You got good defensemen. You got Igor, obviously, in net, and then you got forwards. I know Tarasenko and Kane are free agents, right? But you've still got a pretty good core. Panarin, I see a lot of fans fed up with Panarin, and they need him to show up when it matters. I just think they've got way too much talent on that roster to waste it, and I think they have to finally break through and give New York a chance at a finals.
I like that take. Yep.
So, yeah, those are our Stanley Cup 2024 predictions, and we're going to get into the next the next topic. We're going to start with our official 2023 NHL mock draft, and we got three good draft analysts here, and I'm going to step away, and I'm just going to be asking the questions and going around the table, going pick to pick here, and we're going to start with pick one, and I'm going to let you start us off with your Blackhawks here.
Yeah, so I think this is a pretty obvious pick. I think most notable player since McDavid, obviously. So I think Connor Bedard's going to go first overall.
Good pick. Obviously, NBA and NHL, both maybe the two obvious picks combined in sports history.
I
It's
agree.
just
So.
absolutely clear-cut picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move to you here, the Anaheim Ducks, I believe, with
You know
the second
what?
overall pick.
Yeah, you know what? I think they're going to go with the University of Michigan freshman Adam Fantilli. And what stands out to me about Adam Fantilli is he's got that NHL frame already. You know,
Okay.
he's 6'2", close to 200 pounds. And
Yep.
he put up 65 points in 35 games as a rookie. He won the Hobey Baker, the best rookie or the top college hockey player. And I think he's going to be a great fit in Anaheim. They already got a good core going with Zegras and McTavish and
A
Drysdale.
lot of young guys up there.
Lots of young guys. So I think Fantilli's going the Ducks at number 2.
All right, so I'm going to move to you at number 3.
Right, number 3, Columbus Blue Jackets. I think they'll take Leo Carlson.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big body centerman. He plays a lot of power. He can play the wing too. He creates offense off the rush. He's good in the corners. I just think Winnipeg, they need more skill on their team.
So is this top? I'm just going to get in here. Is this top 3 a consensus in your guys' opinion? Everyone
Yes.
can
Yep.
agree
I
on
agree,
1,
yeah.
2, 3
I
in
think
the
those-
order.
I think
Yep.
those are the
And
1, 2,
second
3
question
guys.
I'm going to ask here. Can I get a player comparison for Leo Carlson? I'll start with you, Bryson.
You know what? The more I watch Leo Carlson, the more he reminds me of Jonathan Taves. And
Okay.
you know what? He's a great two-way player. And I could also say he reminds me a little bit of Ryan O'Reilly. He's got that great two-way ability. And the more I watched him play for the men's team for Sweden, he centered that top line with a Red Wing legend, Lucas Raymond. Gotta shout out my boy.
Yep.
And you know what? And he really did play well in that tournament. It showed how well he can play against men. And Jonathan Taves, you know how good of a two-way player he is, and Leo Carlson, a lot of elements of his game really show a lot. Jonathan Taves, Ryan O'Reilly, that kind of player.
Taves definitely a great in the NHL when it comes down to it. And has he retired, I think?
Not yet.
He's almost done, but
it'll come
definitely
soon.
a good career from him. So that's a pretty high praise comparison, which he should meet up to. Hopefully, Joey, what do you have as a comparison?
As a comparison, I have from the Leafs, John Tavares. I kind of think they use their body similar, like holding off defenders, good in the corners,
Okay.
good in front of the net. I mean, Tavares, he's decently big.
Yeah.
Give me a comparison, maybe.
I was also gonna say John Tavares,
Okay.
but I'll maybe go with a little Bergeron.
Another two-way guy.
Another good two-way guy. I think Leo Carlson's a better playmaker than Bergeron, though. So definitely think he's a good two-way forward, though.
All right, we can move to pick number 4, and you're up on the clock.
With number 4,
Is this the Sharks?
this is San Jose Sharks.
San
Jose.
Who do you got them taking?
I think they will take Will Smith from the U.S. national team.
Okay.
He's a pretty good player, and I think it could either go him or Michkov, but I've seen Michkov falling a little bit, and he's not going to be in the NHL till 2026.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while. So if they want to rebuild now, then
So yeah,
definitely Will Smith.
Michkov, we're here, and here's the wild card in the NHL draft. So
Big time.
we're gonna keep going through these boards, and we'll see who's gonna pull the plug on him, and then eventually land with that franchise. So we're gonna go to pick number 5 to you, Bryson. Who do we have on the clock?
You know what? This is where the draft opens up a little bit with the Montreal pick. And you know what? I actually had Matvei Michkov going to the Sharks. But you know what? I think Montreal, this is a tough pick because they could go defenseman here. They could go forward. I mean, the pick's kind of wide open. And, you know, I think they will go with Austrian defenseman David Reinbacher. That's a name that probably a lot of you guys haven't heard. But he's a great defenseman. He's 6'2". He's playing pro in Switzerland. He had 22 points, I believe, in 46 games with EHC Colton. And he's a great two-way guy. He plays well in transition. He's very poised. And you know what? He's not gonna be a power play quarterback in the NHL, but he's gonna be a great power play 2 guy, a guy you want in all situations of the ice. And Montreal, they definitely could use a good right-handed shot defenseman, and I think Reinbacher can provide that to them in the near future.
Good. So is that, in your guys' opinion, like, is it a wild card pick? You think it's a little bit off the board, but you see it as a fit?
You know
in your
what?
Opinion?
I think it's a little off the board, but I think Montreal, you know, last year they took Uri Slavkovsky over Shane Wright. They're not
Obviously
afraid
a
to
shocker.
They're not afraid to take that big swing at a player that they would like. And I mean, there's not many things to not like about David Reinbacher's game, and I don't know. I could see him going in the top 5 for sure.
All right, so we're going to go to you, Joey, with pick number 6. Who do we got on the clock?
Pick 6 is Arizona, and I think they're the team that will take the risk on Matvei Michkov.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Obviously,
that.
I think he is the second best player in this draft behind Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I agree.
He put up actually better numbers than Ovi
He did.
in his draft year.
He did.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, he's best. He's a very good goal scorer. I'll say that. Maybe not as good as Bedard.
Yeah.
He's generational. I mean, he's great.
So on your guys' boards here, where do we have Michkov ranked, since he is the wild card? But if there was no restraints for him in his NHL eligibility, etc., where would you have him in your overall rankings just as a player? I'm going to start with you, Carter.
I have him here at 5 going to Montreal.
At overall prospect ranking, you have at number 5? Okay. So where do you have him at in your number 2, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
I have him at number 4 going to the Sharks, so I think he's a number 2 prospect.
Number
in the
2
draft.
prospect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And Carter, we're going to go to pick number 7 to you.
This is the Philly pick, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think a good player they could have is, I have them taking Ryan back, but if he's already off the board and gone to Montreal, I think Ryan Leonard could be a good pick for them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Just think they need a rebuild. They're trying to get rid of their goalie now, Carter Hart, so I think they really need to turn things around. They have a couple young forwards that are really getting better, but I think Ryan Leonard would be a good player.
All right, what do you think of that Ryan Leonard? Ryan Leonard, is it?
Yep.
What do you think
Ryan
of that
Leonard,
pick?
you know what? I think he's a top 3 goal scorer in the draft. Had over 50 goals at the U.S. national team development program this year, and
Okay.
I think he's going to be a great player for sure.
Okay, so we're going to go to you again with pick number 8. Who do we got on the clock?
You know what? I think the Washington Capitals are going to take Slovakian forward Dalibor Dvorsky.
Okay.
And you know what? He's a very similar player to Leo Carlsson. He's a great two-way player, but he loves to score goals.
We
And
got a
he's
centerman here?
He's a centerman.
Okay.
Yeah, and you look at that center core for Washington. Backstrom's aging. They're rumored to trade Kuznetsov. They need guys to fill those holes in the lineup. And Dvorsky, you know what? He loves to score goals. He's played with some great players on that Slovakian junior team like Slavkovsky and Meshar. And he'd be a great pick for Washington. Probably more of a high floor, low ceiling kind of player.
So you're getting him immediately to make an impact for you guys.
Yeah, I think he's
Well, not
close.
you guys, but the Capitals. Okay.
The Capitals, yeah.
All right, so Joey, we're going to move to you at pick number 9 here.
Oh, pressure's on for you. You
Who do
better
we
give us
got?
a good player.
So I've been.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to give this pick to Bryson
Yeah.
at pick number 9. Okay, and then we'll move to you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My Detroit Red Wings are going to select Axel Sandin Pellikka.
Okay.
That's who I want them to take, and I think he will be on the board. And you know what? Axel Sandin Pellikka, the more I watch him play, the more I really like him as a prospect. And the great thing about drafting Sandin Pellikka, he won't have as much pressure, right? Because we already have Moritz Seider on that top pair. He just has to be the second pair right-handed defenseman who can play in all areas of the ice. And he's a great skater, and he has a great stick. And he's probably going to be our power play quarterback of the future, maybe if Edvinsson takes that step. But I would be really happy if my Wings get Sandin Pellikka.
So
He's one of my favorites.
This is what you've been raving about, a right side defenseman to fill that void, right? I'm guessing that's what he is.
Oh, we do, because Moritz Seider is the only right-handed defenseman on our NHL roster right now. And I'm not saying that Sandin Pellikka will be ready next year, because he's still a raw prospect.
Just for the
but
future.
He's
Young
for the
team.
future, yeah. And I'd be really happy if my Wings got him at night.
Okay, so do you want them to get them, obviously, but do you think Yzerman pulls the plug on Sandin Pellikka if he is on the board?
Well, you know what?
If the board falls like this, would you have them taking him? Or what are like the two guys here that you think it's between, in your opinion,
You
in
know
a
what?
realistic view?
You know what? Realistically, I think it's between Axel Sandin Pellikka or if Ryan Leonard falls to number 9, because we are in desperate need of goal scoring. I mean, we don't have too many goal scorers on our roster. You look at Raymond, he's our best goal scorer, but he's still young. He needs help. And we've been rumored to trade for Alex DeBrincat in the offseason. He would definitely provide some help there, but definitely Ryan Leonard I feel like would be a great fit for us at 9th overall, and definitely need a goal-scoring winger or a right-handed defenseman. Both those players fit those needs, so hopefully we get one of them by draft night.
Beautiful. So we're going to go to pick number 10. On you, Joey.
St. Louis Blues. I like this guy a lot. He's rised up the draft boards. Otto Stenberg out of Sweden,
I like that
Frölunda,
Yeah?
where a lot of good Swedes have come out in the past out of Frölunda.
Lucas Raymond.
So he's a strong kid. He competes. He plays quick and fast.
Yeah.
He's a good playmaker.
Stenberg was the name?
Yeah, Otto Stenberg.
Otto Stenberg.
He has
yeah.
very good hockey IQ.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of that pick, Bryson and Carter?
You want to start, Carter?
I'll let you start here.
All right. So
Kinda build off you.
Stenberg, I mean, captain of the Swedish World Junior U18 team, and he really stood out in that tournament, almost had 20 points. And he's going to be a really good power play guy, a guy who can really shoot the puck, and he loves to shoot the puck. He's got a heavy, heavy shot, and that's what's going to take him to the NHL next level. And at 10, I would say that's a little high, in my opinion. I got him later on in the first round, but he's definitely got that high upside. And
Can be a top 10 prospect.
yeah, he has
Okay. For
potential.
sure.
Yep.
He has that goal score ability. He, like Bryson said, he loves to shoot the puck. Yeah, I think he could be a good prospect.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, Carter, we're going to go to you at pick 11 here. Who do you got? Who's on the clock here?
St. Louis?
This is
No,
the Vancouver
this is
Canucks.
Vancouver Canucks.
Canucks, yep. So another team that really needs to pick it up. You know, they have some good players with Pettersson and Brock Besser, but
Yep.
I think they really just go and take the best prospect off, not the best
Best player on the
best
board.
player on the board, and I think that's Zach Benson.
Okay.
Great playmaker. Him or Leo Carlsson are one or two best playmakers in this draft, I believe. Great player. Had a great season also.
Yep.
And I think you got to go best player here.
Okay, so I kind of want to get into that best player situation. Do you think for the Canucks it is best player on the board situation, in your opinion? Is that where they are Is that where they are at right now?
Well, you know what? I think they could do that, but they also got to address that right-handed side of defense. And I mean, I'm looking at Tom Willander, Swedish defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks, but they could very well go for Zach Benson. I mean, he's a Western kid. He's grew up there, and he played for the Winnipeg Ice, so I feel like that'd be a pretty good fit for the Canucks.
And this is, I'm not too much into the draft, obviously, but this seems like a team with a lot of needs right now, right?
Lots of needs.
Yeah,
Lots of needs.
So I think I like that take by you saying best on the board could be a good option.
It could be.
Like you said, right-hand defenseman is much needed. So we're going to go to you again, Bryson. Number 12, who do we have on the clock?
Well, you know what? This is the Coyotes' second pick of the first round, and I think they're going to go for American center Oliver Moore. And what stands out to me about Oliver Moore, he's the best skater in this draft. He's got an unbelievable motor, and he's going to burn you. He's going to burn you wide, and he's going to skate hard. He's a great skater.
Yep.
And that's what's going to take him to the next level. They say skating and hockey IQ are the two best traits for a prospect. He's got both of them, and I think that could take him pretty far.
So which team was that took Oliver Moore here?
Arizona
Coyotes. Okay, who's that pick from? Because
Sorry?
they already had a pick up here, right? So who's that pick?
Oh,
from?
that pick was from the Ottawa Senators in the Jacob Chikrin deal.
Interesting. Oh yeah, who they got recently, right?
Yeah, recently.
So yeah, from Ottawa. Okay, Joey, we're gonna go to you, number 13.
Number 13, Buffalo Sabres. So last year in the 2022 draft, they took Matthew Savoy and Noah Ostlund.
Yep.
2 centermans in the first round. So I think they won't take a center. I think they'll take a winger. And that is Gabriel Perreault.
Yeah.
Gabriel Perreault, he's very creative. He needs to work on his skating a little bit.
Yeah.
But he is very dangerous on the power play. He has a very good shot. I'm looking forward to seeing him play in the NHL.
All right, perfect. So we're going to go to you, Carter, again. Number 14.
Number 14 here. Just looking at my board because I have a couple guys who have fallen and
board gets
don't really know
as you go farther in the draft. You want to see how the board falls.
Exactly.
So let me know who you
honestly
see to select.
again. Pens. A lot of older guys. Crosby obviously getting to the end of his career. Letang obviously going through what he did last year.
So let me ask you a question then about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Do you think it's time to trade all those big names you have and just fully reset and regain a ton of draft capital, or would you make one more run at it? What do you think, Carter?
It's honestly hard to say. Just I don't know if you can really trade Sidney Crosby.
No.
He's
cornerstone of that franchise as well.
Yeah, exactly. He built them up. Like he's been there forever, his whole career. But
so you'd probably want to ride it out with the veterans and then kind of reset out of respect,
and then kind of get into like a little bit of a rebuild, which I think this could be a good start.
Yeah.
And here I have them. I think they could take Colby Barlow if he's still left. I think he's a really good prospect.
Sneaky pick.
He's very sneaky. He was very good for the Owen Sound attack. Watched him a couple times in Kitchener, and can he ever shoot the puck?
Oh yeah,
he can. He's great goal scorer. And
quick
honestly,
too, right?
Oh, he's
good skater.
He's pretty good. Yeah, pretty quick. He's pretty good on the penalty kill too. And I think he could be a good first, second line guy. I think he could learn from Gensel and Crosby, and I think he could be a really good player.
Okay, so Bryson, we're gonna go to you, number 15. Who do you have on the clock?
So that's a Nashville Predators pick at 15, and you know what? This is a player that has been rising a lot of draft boards recently. A player who I want my Red Wings to stay away from, actually, and that's Slovakian forward Samuel Honzek out of the Vancouver Giants, and he's a big body, 6'4", 185 pounds. And you know how Nashville, they love to play that gritty, hard, tough style of game, and Samuel Honzek just fits that style of play. He's a big body. He loves to fit in the corners, like battle there, and he's a good net front presence, and Nashville, they're going to need some help. Their core is getting a little old, and Samuel Honzek, a big-bodied center who could probably be I don't really see him as a high-ceiling kind of guy. Probably going to come in and be a third-line center. But, I mean, you're at the middle of the draft. You can't really expect every player you draft to be a top 6 player at that point. But if everything goes right for Honzek, he's got the size, he's got the potential. Who knows? I think he'd be a good pick for Nashville.
All right, Joey, we're going to go to you, number 16.
Number 16?
Yeah, who do you got on the clock?
Calgary Flames. I have them taking Tom Willander out of Rögle, Sweden.
Yeah.
So Calgary, they obviously haven't had many premium picks in the past drafts. They haven't hit on many picks.
Always in the playoffs, that team, but they're always early.
They also haven't hit, they don't have many defensive prospects in the system that are very good right now.
Yep.
So I think just adding a good guy that's good on the back end, he's added more offense to his game. This past year, he has an active stick, good in the corners. I think he could be a good player.
All right. Pick set. We're going to go to Bryson here. I believe this is the Red Wings, right?
Red Wings
pick 17,
pick, yeah.
Then we'll go to you for 18. Go ahead.
You know what?
With the board falling this way, who do you got the Red Wings taking?
You know what? It's so hard to predict Steve's moves, and you know what? This pick right here is going to be such a Steve Yzerman pick, and I think he's going to take the second biggest wild card in this draft, check forward Edward Shala. That's a name that you've probably heard at the start of the year. A lot of people watching this show have probably heard of. He's had that top 5 hype at the start of the year. He's really just had a bad season in the Czech Republic. I believe he only had 6 points in that pro league. But he's got the elite skating, elite shot, elite hockey sense. But when the puck is away from his stick, he is atrocious. And
So
that's what holds him back.
What's the name on that player again? Sorry.
Edward Shala. It's spelled like sail.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
He is a high ceiling player, but he is a boomer bust pick. And Steve Yzerman, he loves to take risks on those kind of players. And Edward Shala could be a big hit for us.
I think that's a really good pick for them. I think he could have some good potential. Like Bryson was saying, he was top 5 at the start of the year, not the best season.
Yeah.
But he, Yzerman can develop him, and I think being off the puck, can learn pretty. I wouldn't say that's the hardest thing to learn. He's got the skill set. You just watch some film, and I think he could be a really good player.
Detroit's got a good coaching staff.
Yeah.
Good development
They
team
can
there.
develop him very well.
Best in the league, man. Not biased at all, okay?
So with that pick, I feel like Detroit, with a bunch of young players they've got in that system, I feel like it's not bad to go a prospect like that. That's another young guy that could be amazing, or he could maybe pan out to be an average player in the AHL, right? But sometimes you got to do that. When you make risks, that's how you succeed, I feel like, with a lot of teams. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a wild card, especially with your second first-round pick in the draft,
for sure.
right?
It makes a lot of sense.
So, yeah, I feel like I like that pick in the sense you described it as. So, Carter, we're going to go to you, number 18 here.
Who is this on the board here?
Who do we got?
It's Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Jets.
Interesting.
Their first pick in this draft here. I honestly think it could be anyone. Another team that didn't do great this year, but didn't do terrible.
Yeah.
Kind of just a mediocre team. Shifley and Wheeler getting pretty old.
Maybe a guy that can come in and impact right
they
away,
could
not a guy that you
totally-
can develop, maybe, right?
That team might totally blow it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? of that?
Hellebuck leaving, so
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty big.
Time to reset in Winnipeg, in your opinion?
You know what? I think it's time to blow up the roster. I mean, they got such an aging core, but they also got some young pieces. They got Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers, 2 great young players.
Who's the guy they drafted out of the OHL recently?
Cole Perfetti.
Yeah,
Cole
Perfetti.
Perfetti's a great
Good
young
player.
prospect, and obviously, I don't think they need a rebuild, more of a retool, if that makes sense.
Retool, yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got... Who'd you say they take?
I think they could take. There could be a few options, but honestly, Matthew Wood from UConn. I think he would be
That's
a
a good
pretty
pick for
solid pick for them.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to you at number 19 here.
Number 19, is that Chicago
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, the worst team in the league. I hate them. Actually, I hate Boston more. Sorry.
Or do you
about
want
that.
to toss this back to him here
You know
for his
what?
favorite team?
You know what? I'll toss it to you.
All right,
All
number
right.
19 for the Blackhawks. Who do you got? Who's this pick from here?
This pick, what pick?
Do we know who this pick's from here?
This pick, I don't... Tampa Bay.
Oh, this is
Tampa
the
Bay.
pick.
Yeah,
yes.
from
Get in
Brandon
the camera.
Hagel deal,
Get in the
right?
camera. Give
Yep.
yourself a shout out right there.
Behind the camera.
Yeah, there's too many Blackhawk fans in this room.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Get them out of here. Get them out of here.
So, who do you got them taking
This
here?
pick,
at 19?
honestly, I think Bedard's on the phone here making this pick for them. I
Okay.
think they're gonna go his good friend Andrew Crystal from Kelowna.
Okay.
Wow.
Same from Vancouver as well.
Yep.
Crystal.
Yeah, you know what? Andrew Crystal, he's a very interesting prospect. I heard that he actually grew up playing hockey with Connor Bedard,
Yep.
so I could see your
Wow.
point about
Yeah,
that.
I think that's
Another
Where do you see him as a talent? Is he a first round talent
You
or
know
a second
what?
round
I
talent?
have him as a first round talent, but I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts and a lot of reports that have him going in the second round. He's 5'9". He's not very big.
Yeah.
Similar situation
Yeah.
maybe we could be seeing here is Trevor Lawrence getting drafted by the Jaguars and Travis Etienne later in the draft, his college running back
Good
teammate
friends,
going
yeah.
there.
Wow.
So who knows if he's got that big of an impact on a franchise.
They have a good connection in the NFL, and I'm sure NHL Bedard with anyone's probably going to be pretty decent. But
Yeah.
if it's his best buddy from back home, I think they could have some good years
Not
together.
a bad fit.
All right, so number 20, we're going to go to you, Joey, to end this off here.
My turn.
Who's on the clock here?
This is the Seattle Kraken.
Okay.
They had a very good year this year.
Yeah, they did.
I think they'll go with Braden Yeager
Okay.
from Moose Jaw
That's the
Warriors.
player I was waiting to hear. He was
Yeah.
falling down the draft
He was
boards and-
falling. I think
Yeah.
he could be a middle of the pack guy. I think he could be a guy who could go, honestly, from pick 10 after.
Yep.
Like, he could go anywhere
The
from
Kraken
there.
make the. Did they win the first round against Colorado?
Yeah,
They
They
did.
did, yeah.
And then they lost
Lost
to
to
Dallas.
Dallas.
Game
Yeah.
Put them out. Yeah.
Yeah, game 7.
was a very good
Good
That
year
was-
for the Kraken.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
looking to improve there, maybe sign a couple free agents, and then you think he's kind of put him in the roster now, or just let him develop a little bit? In the
You know what? I
minors?
think he's a bit of a raw prospect. I think he needs some time. He didn't have the greatest season. That's why, like, at the start of the year, similar to Edward Shalla, he was like a top 7 consensus pick. And you know what? Braden Yeager, he does a lot of the things right. Like, he's nothing is going to be eye-popping about his game, but he just does the little things right.
Just do your
And,
job.
Yeah, he just does his job well. He's probably going to project to be a second, third line in the corners, penalty kills, special teams guy. And yeah, he's a great prospect.
All right, so we're gonna move into bless you. We're gonna move into the last topic of this video, and we're gonna do Would You Rather Connor Bedard.
Ooh.
And this isn't
okay.
gonna be a projection. This is gonna be for next season starting.
Yep.
In the 2023-2024 season, at the start of the season, which player would you rather have on your team for the year?
Okay, not
Okay.
potential.
No,
Like,
not
okay,
potential.
right
Who's
away.
going to be
Yeah.
better next year?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to go first name Braden Point. I'm going to start with you, Bryson.
I mean, it's hard to say. Braden Point's such a proven player, and you know what? I'm still going to say Braden Point's the better player.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
What do you think?
As biased as I want to be, Braden Point put up 50 goals this year.
Well, yeah, he did.
Pretty elite player.
I'm going Braden Point.
Okay. I'm also going to go Braden Point, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too much, but I'm going to just go throw in Braden Point. Next name, Lucas Raymond. I'm going to start with you.
Oh, don't do this to me, man.
Okay, we'll let you guys go
man.
first. What do you think?
Honestly, hate to do it. You're not going to like this, but
Oh, boy.
I'm taking Bedard over him.
Okay.
Both young players, but I think Bedard's better
Obviously,
player.
I'm throwing these all-star level players potential-wise out there because Connor Bedard is listed as a generational prospect.
He
So we
is.
got to give him this praise that he's going to be great. So I'm going to be naming him with greats, and these are going to be tough to say because I find a lot of generational NHL players come into the league and make an impact right away.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like they
agree.
just don't sit around and develop like a lot of NBA and NFL players. Give them a couple years. I think they're here and they make a statement right away. That's why I'm saying next year who will be better. So where are you going to go here, Bedard or Lucas Raymond?
I'm going to go with Bedard.
Okay.
I
What do you
just-
think?
I thought Raymond was going to have a little bit of a better sophomore season.
Okay.
I was expecting a little more from him. That's why I'm going to go with Bedard.
What do you think?
Oh, man. You know what? I got to go with Raymond. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I think Raymond is due for a huge breakout year, and especially if Steve Yzerman improves our roster by getting Alex DeBrincat or Kyle Connor, a player like William Nylander. Raymond's a player who feeds off his line mates pretty well, and he had a sophomore slump. I mean, it's true. That's what happens to young players who are very well.
Okay.
And going into his third season, I think Raymond could explode for us next season.
Okay. Next name, Cole Caulfield. I'm going to start with you, Joey.
I'm going to go Cole Caulfield.
Okay. What do you think, Carter?
I think Bedard's just a better Cole Caulfield.
Okay.
He does everything better.
Go ahead.
I think it's Connor Bedard for sure.
Okay. Why do you think?
I think it's Connor Bedard because, I mean, Cole Caulfield, I mean, I'm not too big of a fan of him, to be honest.
All right.
I mean, I think Bedard is just going to come into the NHL and tear it up right away. As much as I hate Chicago, I think Connor Bedard is going to come in and make an impact on that franchise right away.
Okay. And we're going to go next name, Johnny Gaudreau. I'm going to start with you,
Ooh.
Carter.
This is a tough one, but, Goudreau coming off a career low, I would honestly take Bedard.
Okay.
I think Goudreau is declining, and that's why he left
Calgary.
So, yeah, definitely take
Got
Bedard.
the money and
Yeah, got
just
the money and got out of
fricked
there.
off. I'm going to go with you, Joey. Who do you got here?
I'm going to go with the vet, Johnny Gaudreau.
All right, what do you think he does better? Or what do you think he'll do better? Just proven.
Well, he's just proven in the league. I mean,
Yeah.
he's used to what the physicality is in the league already. He's done it before. He's put up 100 points in a season.
All right. So, Bryson, who are you going to take here?
I'm going to take Johnny Gaudreau as well. I agree with Joey with everything he said there. 100-point player one season. He's proven. That was his first season in Columbus, I believe, right?
You looking at a bounce back year?
I think he's going to bounce back. He's probably going to be more comfortable with that team and the coaching staff, and I think he'll have a better year than Connor Bedard.
All right, we got 2 more names here. We're going to go Trevor Zegras. Go with you, Bryson.
Interesting. You know what? I think it's tough because those players are very similar players, electrifying offensive talents. And I think Trevor Zegras is going to have the better year. I think he's poised for a huge breakout with that team. And Connor Bedard, it's hard to compare Connor Bedard to these players because these players, we already know how good they are in the NHL. You know what I'm talking about? But
we're obviously expecting Connor Bedard to be great. We're expecting Connor Bedard to almost clear all these players the future. But going into this year,
His first year.
who do you think can be better? Yeah.
I mean, Zegras.
You're going to go Zegras on this one?
I'm taking Zegras because Connor Bedard, what help does he have on that team to help him produce points?
Lucas Reichel, and that's about it. He's not
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe some Seth Jones.
Seth
You never know.
Jones.
Oh, boy.
That
wow.
elite player.
Have fun with that contract.
Go ahead,
Boy.
Carter.
As flashy as Zegras obviously is, doing the Michigan all the time.
Fan favorite, definitely.
Yeah, I'll still have to take Bedard. Just think he can be more elite in his first year, and yeah, I would take Bedard.
It's fair. How about you, Joey?
I agree with Bryson. I'm going to go with Zegras. I think like you said, he's poised for a big breakout year.
Yep.
I'm gonna get in on this one. I'm gonna go Connor Bedard. I think that this. I've never seen a player that just means more business than him. He just wants to do his job and get out of there.
Yep.
He just seems so poised when he plays. I think that right when he gets in the league, he's going to have a big impact and send a big notice to the league that he's going to be a great one day. And I think it starts with his rookie year, showing a lot of people why he's better than some of these names. And we're going to go last name, Mark Scheifele. I'm going to go to you, Joey.
Right at this point in time at the season, who's going to have a better year?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Connor Bedard,
Okay.
point-wise.
Okay, who you think you'll be a better player next year?
Who?
That's what the question is, right? Who's going to be the better player next year?
Yeah.
Well, I think in terms of the numbers, I think Bedard will put up more points, but I think Scheifele's a more complete player at this point in time.
Okay, Carter, what do you think?
Gotta go bias again. Honestly, Bedard, I think he is a better player.
Yeah.
Scheifele, he is known, obviously, but he is declining, and Bedard is
just getting started
on the rise. Yeah.
Bryson, what do you think?
It's tough to say. Scheifele's such a good veteran in the NHL, and I'm going to have to go with Connor Bedard on this one. Like Joey said, Scheifele's on a little bit of a decline. But there's one exception. If the Red Wings go out and trade for Scheifele, I will take Scheifele.
Oh, come on. Get out of here. This is bullshit.
Trust the Yzer plan.
Okay, so yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the Alec Frengos Show, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.